G'day, my name's Scott Wimble. Welcome to another Classroom Ideas video. Today I'm going to be talking very briefly about a legal studies activity you can do in class which mainly fits into individual and the law resolving disputes between groups and the government and groups. And it's a really fun activity. My class love doing it, and it's really quite a helpful learning exercise to think through the different strategies people can use when they're trying to resolve disputes in their favour. The particular topic that we looked at, and you can use this format for other disputes as well, but we looked at coal seam gas. And basically what we did was I split the group into split the class into three different groups. Pro coal seam gas, so proponents of coal seam gas, those who are against coal seam gas exploration, and then politicians in the middle. And the basic premise of the exercise was I gave them time in which to research the issue and in which to come up with arguments for why their group should get their way in the dispute. And so thinking through ideas, they needed specifics, they needed to come up with arguments, with experts backing up what they were saying. And then we held basically like a town hall format meeting, where almost like Q&A, where we had both groups coming up against each other and basically duking it out, trying to convince me, the convener of the meeting. We had an imaginary microphone that you pass to each person through the crowd. There you go, sir. And each person got to have a say in the group, in the whole class. And we went back and forth to the different groups. What do you think about that? With obviously the proponents trying to push forward changes in the law so that moratorium might end, and the other anti-group trying to continue the moratorium and maybe even stop coal seam gas exploration altogether, and politicians trying to find some kind of middle ground. So it was a really helpful exercise to kind of finish and then talk through as a group what were some strategies you may have been able to put into place to try and get your point of view across. So not just the town hall meeting, but then thinking through what social media could you have used? How could those experts' opinions been put forth into the community, etc., etc.? What would have been some of the things in favour of the proponents of coal seam gas, i.e. they had a lot of money behind them, perhaps political lobbying? What are some of the issues that politicians face in different communities? So maybe you have a smaller community in an electorate which has, is a swing electorate, and it has a really small to marginal electorate, and so they need to keep people on side. To think through the larger kind of intricacies of resolving disputes in different parties where it's almost a zero-sum game, where there isn't a perfect compromise and everyone will be happy. What happens in those situations? And the students really enjoyed it, had a lot of fun with it, debating each other and calling each other out, and especially the politicians copped it. But a very helpful exercise for you to kind of step back as a class and to think through the dispute in a wider using a wider angle lens, and thinking through, well, where might this dispute have started? How might it end? What are some of the different ways in which the community members and the group members would interact with each other, and how might they go about looking at resolving this dispute in legal methods, in non-legal methods, who would you get on side, etc., etc., etc. And just an idea that I thought I'd throw out there for legal studies teachers or students to go to your teacher and say, check out this guy, this sounds like a lot of fun, and let me know how it goes.